Going on?
What up? What up?
What up, people? Sorry for the
How's my
wait.
connection?
Pretty
How's
dang
my
good.
audio? Am I cutting out? Am I dropping? Are all my motions happening? Am I fluid right now?
Those types of shenanigans don't happen when I'm here, Jimmy.
That's true. I just don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it from anybody tonight, okay? I'm doing what I can with my connection. I don't know what the F is going on with it.
What the F is going on? Ho humish, um, sort
Oh,
of game.
Amish. Come
Ho,
on.
hu- ho hum. This was a classic case of my guys are better than your guys game, which is great.
Oh, that's everybody who plays the Pistons
Yeah,
right
but you
now.
know what I mean is it was just yeah, we're just gonna
They
my
took care of
player
business. They
my
took
players
care
are
of
better than your
business.
players, so we're just gonna win sort of game. I mean, Jason Tatum took the whole first half off, and then he was like, "All right, John, what do I need to do?"
Yeah.
Came
Third
out with
quarter, quick 15 in like what, 3 minutes, something stupid like
five,
that.
five at the 5:05 mark of the third quarter when the Pistons called the timeout. 5:05 into the third quarter, he'd scored 16 points, went from 5 to 21, just like that.
Yeah,
And
nice looking shots over defenders, couple step back threes.
yeah,
Um, just doing his thing. A couple of games or a couple of days ago, it was more like at the rim type stuff. Tonight, it was more just I'm gonna do it from beyond the arc. So this guy's letting everybody know that one game it's one way, the next game it's another way. It doesn't matter. He's gonna find his point. He's gonna get his.
yeah, and we talked about it last year, Jimmy. Like, why are Jason Tatum's bad games so bad?
Yeah.
He just said they were bad. Superstars don't have bad games like that. Now his bad games are kind of like 27. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
so this was ridiculous. The Brown was Brown carried them offensively in the first half. Third
Shout out
straight.
big hands Brown tonight. You can see the hands. The hands got a little bit bigger tonight. I don't know if
Yeah,
anyone was watching from last episode, but it was quite the segment we had on hand size, and I want to emphasize it was hand size. Um, Apparently, allegedly, Jaylen Brown's hands might not be as big as other people's hands, but didn't look to be like it was a problem tonight. So shout out Jaylen Brown's hands. And he looked like he was ready to go tonight. I don't know, maybe last game, maybe he was in a bad mood before a game or something, just wasn't on there. But tonight, couple nice dunks. He was active. The three, that he had that nice little sequence where I think he had the 3-pointer at the end of the third quarter, was it, or one of the quarters? He had a three right before the end. Then he had a nice sequence where it was just point, rebound, little nice, and then on the other end it was like a nice little sort of step back. Might have been on Cade Cunningham. I'm not sure who it was,
yeah.
but he did his thing. 30 points. I mean, 11 to 19. Damn, you'll take that.
30-30 for
You know
Brown
what? The
and
stat that matters the most is the last one you got there. 0 turnovers. How about
after
that?
7. And you do like to see that because that was a gross game he had last game, and I'm glad I wasn't here for it.
I am
Um,
too. That would have been tough to sit through.
yeah,
You didn't miss. You didn't miss a good. You didn't miss much with that performance. Let's put it that way.
I'm glad I wasn't there for it because it's just that kind of stuff that drives you nuts. The zero turnovers is good. Um, but
It's
whatever.
good.
30-30 from Brown and Tatum. Like I said, it was just so hum. It's just like, we've got all these stars over here, and they're going to each drop 30, and then we're just going to win. And this dude, Hauser, who didn't play a minute last year, is going to score 24. And he's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
The sad part of this
He
game,
couldn't play last year, John. He couldn't play.
couldn't
Remember?
couldn't have played in Ime's
Couldn't have
defense.
played. Nope.
No.
Nope. Nope. Wouldn't have
Um,
worked.
and you even got some, Jimmy was gifted some Peyton Pritchard minutes, but certainly
Okay.
under the worst circumstances because Jimmy's other guy, Malcolm Brogdon, left the game late in
Yeah.
the second quarter, did not
What was
return.
this?
I thought I saw a play where he kind of made a hard jab step on the baseline. I thought he might have twisted an ankle or something. He looked towards the bench. He played a few more trips up and down the court. Obviously felt something grab. It was a hamstring. He's had hamstring things before. Um,
It's a hammy. This isn't good for my bold prediction. This is not good for my bold prediction, which was that Malcolm Brogdon would play all 82 games. And I knew it was bold when I made it. That's the point of the bold prediction. if it comes true, it's like a very pie in the sky type prediction. That being said, the way he's been playing, which has been great, and anchoring that second unit and giving them everything they need, I'm not putting it high on the panic meter because it's hamstring tightness, and maybe he takes a game off. I mean, they got a back-to-back coming up here Friday, Saturday, so I don't know how much they want to push it. So I can see maybe one of those games being a day off.
Hamstrings are not a one-game thing.
No, but if it's just tight, they're just saying tightness. So I don't know. Maybe he just needs a couple days.
He got ruled out in no time. So
they were up, and they probably thought, you know what, this game's probably in control.
Look,
Let's just have him sit it out.
Yeah, hamstring. Could it be a couple of games and that's it? Sure. Can it be 6 weeks also? Sure.
Oh, come on.
Hamstrings are weird, man. You don't know. I mean,
you're weird.
Again,
I just don't want to go down that dark path.
It's just a can't we have nice things sort of thing. Like everything's working here, everything's working. So yes, we're all hoping for he was fine, precautionary sort of thing. And that's what they'll say. And then everyone will say, shut up, John. They said he's fine. And then he'll miss like 14 games. And then we'll be like, so it's nobody wants him to be out. So you guys shut up. But it's a guy with
No, you shut up. You're like Bobby in the last show. Tatum slipped on the court, and Bobby was like, "Not what you want to see." Like that. He wanted to lead with that. I'm like, dude, it's fine. And look,
okay,
he was fine.
You know what? Hamstrings are not weird, tricky injuries. It's fine. It's obviously fine. It's fine because we want it to be fine. Okay, move on.
You're gonna say, oh, it'd be better if it's like the Kemba Walker injury. It'd be better if it was an ACL.
They should just chop this thing off. Yeah.
If you remove the hamstring, you can't
guys,
pull the hamstring.
I'm certain he's fine. I'm certain of it. I'm certain he's fine. He'll be back next game. I'm certain of it. Don't worry. He's fine. I don't even think, honestly, I think he could have played in the fourth if they needed him.
Do they call you Dr. Jim or do they call me Dr. Jim? I'll tell you guys when there's something to worry about, and that's after I do my research.
Guys.
On hamstring injuries.
Yes.
Tightness. If it's tightness.
If it's Brown with a hamstring, you get worried. If it's Brogdon with anything, you get worried. If it's Rob with anything, you get worried. There's just guys you worry about.
With the Brogdon name attached, there's a little bit more caution.
There's guys you worry about and guys you don't. Everybody's just kind of sitting there like, he's going to be okay. He's going to play all these games. He's going to be fine. You don't have
to amputate, do you?
So, yes, we'll all be happy. If and when Brogdon is fine, which I'm sure he is. There's no reason for anybody to worry at all. None, guys.
You know what? There is
so many doomers in the chat. Oh my goodness gracious, guys!
Smartest thing you've ever said was, "There's no reason to worry," because worrying's not going to fix anything. Worrying's not going to change anything. I mean, you might not ever see him play again, okay? But you can't worry about it because it's not going to change the fact.
He's fine, guys. Anyway, yes.
It's a good time to remind our viewers that tonight's episode is brought to you by calm.com, by calm.com/garden.
We'll get there.
I know. I'm just saying, if you find yourself getting a little too worried about something, you might want to just flip on that app.
Joe Mazzulla says in a super encouraging way with no worry at all and nothing anyone needs to be. Brogdon is still being evaluated and they will find out more tomorrow. That totally sounds like nothing. No big deal. We're fine. Okay? Totally good.
They're evaluating it. They're making sure that they have all the information before they jump to conclusions, like some people.
It's totally good.
Yep.
It's fine. It's fine because we want it to be fine, Jimmy. So I'm fine.
I'm moving on. It's fine until it's not. No, it's fine until it's not fine. So
what do you think of that comment? Would you not have been more assured by a comment that said, "Oh, it's just precautionary. He felt something grab, but he was fine. He honestly could have maybe come back in. We're still evaluating it, and we'll find out more tomorrow." It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Do I love that comment? Was that what I wanted to hear?
I wanted to hear something else.
I wanted to hear something a little bit more. Yeah, like you said, he precautionary. we felt pretty comfortable with letting him sit the rest of the game. I didn't want to hear him say we'll reevaluate or
Wanted to hear something more, something better.
But we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait.
He's
We're gonna
fine.
And you know what?
Fine.
With the Celtics, you can always believe what they say too about injuries. They've never steered us down the wrong path in the history of the organization.
Totally, and the Celtics are totally upfront with injuries, which is another thing. Another thing everyone's got going for them here.
Yeah, they usually tell it like it is. They don't make you wonder if they don't have you counting down the days, wondering if it's going to match up to what they said. So yeah, no, nothing. It's fine. Anyways, what else?
Anyway, so what else do we have? We have Bobby and Josue and Sherrod at the Garden. Sherrod's doing his Detroit thing, so he's going to be a little late. He's got his people there.
We won't
he's
see
connected.
him tonight.
No, he's coming
plans.
on. Yeah.
He's probably got plans. Sherrod, listen, whenever the Pistons are in town, Sherrod's like the mayor of the TD Garden. Whenever the Pistons come to town, he knows everybody within the organization. He knows the reporters. He knows some of the players probably still somehow. That's just life being Sherrod Blakely. So.
Yeah, let's see what life being Josue Pavon is like tonight. Hopefully
What up, fellas?
Hopefully they're making a lot of noise there.
Okay. What up, JoJo?
Relatively speaking, more the music. They got some people on the crowd. I mean, on the floor shooting.
Yeah.
What a game! What a game!
What a game!
Offense, something else.
It's a ho-hum game, Josue, according to some.
I sound what?
No, it was a ho-hum game, some might say.
Yeah. I mean, but it's all about this 2 stars, right? Tatum and Brown.
Hauser.
And Hauser. Hauser was what, 3rd in scoring? It's incredible, man. This
career high. Give him his flowers.
Yeah, this might be a 2-3 week run where he continues to make a new career high in scoring, because that's how dialed in he is right now. And I just can't wait for the big test Friday night against the Denver Nuggets, man. That's gonna be a show.
Josue, what do you think of this Malcolm Brogdon injury? It's all we can talk about right now. Thoughts?
Oh, you guys led with that, huh?
What do you know?
John is definitely back in the hosting chair. No, it sounds more of a precautionary thing. You know, I can't wait to see what Joe Mazzulla says, but at the same time, he's probably gonna say it's nothing.
I'm so glad you asked.
He said he's still being evaluated. We'll know more tomorrow. That doesn't sound super sunny.
Ooh, no, it doesn't. That's not good.
But he's fine. He's fine.
Yeah, but with the way this team is going I see what you're saying. With the way this team is going offensively, especially with the second unit, that's not good.
That's what I mean. That's the bummer, is like, leave it alone, please, everybody.
Yeah.
Like, don't mess with this. No, it's fine. Everyone got mad because I was like, I'm really concerned because Malcolm Brogdon has an injury history and hamstrings can be tricky. And everyone's like, John, you're the worst guy who's ever lived.
John, you did say it could be 6 months. I mean, we don't know.
I said 6 weeks. None of us have ever played fantasy football, right? And had a guy who's got Keenan Allen on their team. Tell me about hamstrings.
All right.
Yeah, it's not good news.
Every hamstring injury is different.
Everybody should have had this in the back of their mind. If not, this is the track record of Malcolm Brogdon. I mean, it's bad news. It's not good, but to go hand in hand with that, it's going to be even more difficult for a Celtics team that's not going to take any chances here. I mean, they're eyeing the NBA Finals, so it's not like they're going to try make sure that he's back on the floor within a week or so. They're going to make sure that he's 100%. Not even if he's 90%. You're not going to see Malcolm Brogdon.
The season is over.
All right.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, I wouldn't put it that way, but this is the this is the adversity that we're talking about, right? What is he going to do when things are going well, right?
If you want
going well up until game 11.
If you want Malcolm Brogdon to suffer a hamstring injury, you want it to come in game 11, not game like 78. When you're heading into the playoffs. So it's fine. You're not going to get through an entire season without people, whatever. And it's much better than something like, say, something that requires surgery or something. Hamstrings, that stuff happens. Brown missed a bunch of games last year with it early. The kind of stuff you want to get under control, but you don't want Malcolm Brogdon's name attached to any sort of injury, particularly the soft tissue ones, because those are the ones that get you with like injury prone stuff. Like if he jumped up, came down on somebody's ankle, foot, twists his ankle, and everyone starts throwing an injury prone label at him, I'd be like, that's just bad luck. But when you get those pulls and those tweaks and those groins and those hammies, that's the stuff that follows injury prone guys around, it feels like. So you never want to see it.
Right.
So whatever, it is what it is.
Yeah, we got the news.
I got a
news
cool
during
stat.
halftime. So yeah, I'm with you, John. If it's not something that's clearly obvious that happened in the game, it's not a good thing. I mean, it's a sign of someone who's been battling injuries throughout his career, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right.
Look, it's guys. I mean, Jesus, it's the headline in a game where you beat a team that you're supposed to beat by 15 points in a wire-to-wire sort of victory. Losing a guy who's been key to your success and wondering whether he's going to be okay is an obvious headline here. It's not ridiculous to talk about it, but we'll stop talking about it because it's triggering some people, and Jimmy has something he wants to say.
No, I got a stat. That's all.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have each scored 30-plus points in the same game 15 times as teammates. That is the third most by any pair of teammates over the last 30 seasons. Can you guys guess who the other two pairs of teammates are?
Give it to us one more time.
30 seasons. Okay, so two teammates have scored 30 points in the same game 15 times. Only two other teammates have done that over the last 30 years. So since 92. A lot of different iconic teammates within that time frame.
Celtics teammates?
No, in the NBA.
Shaq and Kobe. Gotta be.
Shaq and Kobe.
Shaq
good.
and Kobe?
That's
Yeah.
one. That is one. By the way, they're trailing these two. They're third on the list. So Shaq and Kobe are, it appears, number one. There's another pair of teammates.
If it's Jordan and Pippen, I'm gonna be upset.
It's not.
Okay, I was gonna say it's too obvious.
I'll just tell you.
Shaq and Penny Hardaway. I don't know.
No. John, do you want to guess or do you want me to tell you?
No.
Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
So,
that makes sense.
kind of some good
was such a
good
good
company to be in right now. A lot of guesses in the comment section. Let me see
Not if
what we
Malcolm
got.
Brogdon's gonna be out, Jimmy. Jeez.
Ooh, very close, but apparently these guys aren't quite there yet.
He's fine. He's fine. Other things worth talking about. Obviously, the Jays going 30-30 is fine. Marcus Smart, third straight double-digit assist game. Again, what's so funny is everybody can live with this Marcus, the one who doesn't shoot well but doesn't shoot a lot. Everyone can live with this.
Plus 22.
I didn't love I didn't love his threes, but he didn't take that many of them. I don't love early in the clock threes from Marcus Smart. The first two were with 12 seconds, 13 seconds into the clock. I always want to see him work the shot for a better shot. I think even maybe the first three were all, even though the third one was a very good look. But the other couple, just keep working it. But he didn't stay with it forever. Then he had a wild drive. He kind of got blocked one time. So offensively, he didn't get his own thing going, but you don't care. That's not what you want. When you have all of these guys on the court and you've got other shooters out there and other people who can score, just distribute. He had 9 at the half, finished with 11 total. It's his third straight double-digit assist game. I love this Marcus.
I do too.
Yeah, especially because you can tell where his mindset is at, especially to start the game. I mean, penetrating the paint, having the handle to get through the defense, which I think has also been something that's been overlooked in terms of his improvement, and just knowing where the guys are, like picking guys, whether it's a guy in a corner or knowing he can beat someone one-on-one and take him to the rim. I mean, that's the Marcus I like. That's the one that's been most successful throughout this season, especially in the last 3 games. So he's got to keep this thing going, especially if Malcolm Brogdon's going to be missing time.
Don't stop talking about Brogdon. You guys are obsessed.
I didn't bring it up.
I kind of am right now because I just think he's that important. But I'm just saying.
Well, you missed the first 15 minutes.
And how he's been leading it, and how Sam Hauser is about to, the whole NBA will start talking about him soon. And you guys hit me with this Malcolm Brogdon stuff. I'm like, man.
I'm just kidding. I brought it up, and it's okay because he's fine. Go ahead, Jimmy.
This is a good Smart for sure. I mean, I think ideally, 2 points is probably on the lower end of what you want to see him end up with. But to be the pass first guard And he had some really nice passes tonight. I mean, some crazy ones. The diving one there that saved it to go out of bounds in that fourth quarter. I don't even think he gets an assist on that one, does he? But it was a great play. And he had a couple other nice, like, little fancy little passes. So Marcus Smart's doing his thing. He's getting everybody involved. And if that's sort of the mentality that he has, I mean, that's some... You get in a little bit of a zone that way, and you start thinking that way. You know, now he's starting to think pass, instead of, like John said, the early 3-point in the shot clock. Also, when Tatum and Brown are getting it going the way they are, I mean, it's pretty easy to just keep feeding Tatum when he's hot like that in the third quarter. You just want to find guys that are gonna make you look good, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it's just get on the ball and get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
This was one of those nights for sure. That was incredible.
Speaking of get out of the way, I don't want to wake up from this Sam Hauser dream. I'm kind of waiting, like, one day, all of a sudden, like, it's just going to not be this way. But, like, he's legit automatic. He's friggin' automatic. I said it at the beginning of the year. He's going to shoot.
Even his missed shots are pretty. Like,
he's going to shoot friggin' 50% from three. My question is, like, there's no stopping this, right? It's not like you can play the Celtics and be like, let's key in on Hauser. Like, that's just how it's going to be. If he's out on the floor and he's out there, when you have, you know, and again, typically he's been playing his minutes with that Brogdon, Tatum, White second unit lineup, and you've got the ball whipping around the paint, and you've got guys who can attack the paint. He's just open, and and that's it. I mean, the fact that he can get 12 threes off, and they were clean looks, is just insane that he's going to get that many opportunities when he's out there to score. And, like, he's not just there. Like, we talked about it back with Nesmith, right? The Nesmith minutes when he was out there. And
Trigger warning. You can't just say that name and not expect people to react.
But here's the thing with Nesmith that would drive us crazy, right? Nesmith would be out there, and the one thing he's supposed to do is be able to shoot. And the reality is he couldn't, and it's possible that he never was really as good a shooter as we thought. Celtics kind of, you know, bought into something. It was fool's gold, small sample size. Doesn't matter. They thought he could shoot. And supposedly in practice, he was in lights out, you know, the best practice shooter they had on the team. Then they put him out there and never, ever, 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 ever work the ball around to him to get a shot. So he'd literally just run around like a lunatic for 8-10 minutes, just slamming into people, doing crazy things, and none of it involved him doing the one thing he's supposedly out there to do, which was catch the ball, shoot the ball. And we're like, what the hell is he out there for? And then Hauser goes out there and he's like, just having a big bing, bing, bing. I'm just going to sit back here. That's what you're supposed to do, right? But I never understood it. Like, I never understood why they didn't do it with Nesmith in the limited time. Hauser's not just out there and they forget about him and Jalen and Jason put their head down and dribble. They're looking for him all the time. Like, as soon as they see he has a little daylight and somebody helps off of him, guys are immediately looking to see where he is to get it to him. He's a legit weapon.
Right, but he's also constantly looking for just great shots overall. I know the majority.
Yeah, the other problem is Nesmith just stand next to Jalen Brown and be like, "Are you going to pass to me?" He's like, "No, you're right there. Hauser's moving.
Like, clear out, man.
Go somewhere else. I'm here.
Go roll around in the mud over there."
How many of those backdoor cuts had Pistons defenders just like, "Wait, where is he? Where did he go?"
Yeah,
he never stays still, and he's constantly looking for the best shot. A lot of the times it's behind the arc, obviously, because he can make those, but that's why he's getting the ball. He's fighting for those opportunities, and he's doing a damn good job while doing it because you can tell he's improved. Like, this isn't the same player we saw last year playing in garbage time. I mean, between the offseason, summer league, training camp, I mean, it's just everything's clicking for him right now. And when he goes in,
you think he's that much different, or they finally just used him?
I think he's that much different.
Really?
Honestly, I mean, it's a little bit of both.
How much different can he be? He's shooting shots. That was what he was supposedly good at last year too.
Yeah, but you know, there was a lot of the times where it felt like he had to take like a dribble or two, or it took him a second, or if someone was in his face, he just looked uncomfortable. Now it's like he's got his eye focused on the target, and it doesn't matter who's in front of him. It doesn't matter how much time he has to let that shot off. It's going in, and if not, even his misses are halfway down the hoop. You know, like it just seems like his fundamentals, like his footwork, has improved to a level where it's second nature. He's not thinking too hard about what he has to do when he gets out there. Also, he's not like, oh, I have to score or I'm going to get benched. You know, he's just going with the flow of the offense. I think Neesmith was just like, this is my tryout. This is it. I got to knock down 2 threes or I'm never playing again. Like,
oh my God, if
Hauser never does that.
Like, but so much of it is down to just playing the guy, and like you're right. I mean, with Neesmith, he was terrified. He'd miss his first shot would just go clanking off of something, and then he'd be like, "I'm never going to play again." And then he wouldn't play again. They'd be like, "Well, that was
that's
your shot."
The thing. He would be very cognizant of the fact that he wasn't hitting shots, so he would overcompensate in every other aspect of the game, including like hustle. But he would just be like a wrecking ball out there, and just anybody in his way would end up hurt, knocked into, and be like, "What's this guy's deal? Like, what's he doing? He just like hit me in the head.
What's he doing over there?
He just elbowed me, and like this is Neesmith, just like he's just a blur out there on the court. He's never where he's supposed to be. All right, but with Hauser, even when he's not, I mean, listen, having Hauser out there, and let's say you have Grant out there too. I mean, those guys are opening up the floor like crazy for guys like Tatum and Brown, because you eventually, I mean, they're obviously leaving Hauser open, but eventually, if Hauser and Grant Williams are hitting 3-pointers at the clip that they are, if they continue to do that, defense is going to have no choice but to, shade a little bit further over to them, which is going to allow guys like Tatum and Brown to get to the hoop, to get their mid-range shots up, and just like prevent the double teams. Like, there's so many different things you can do with a guy like Hauser out there hitting these shots. I mean, listen, 50% is obviously unattainable, but there's no reason to believe he's not going to be above 40% this year. I mean, right? I mean, that would be him and Grant. I mean, if those guys are shooting it at that clip, it just makes things a lot easier, I feel like, for Tatum and Brown to find other ways to score, to find themselves in more one-on-one situations, and then to dish and drive and dish. So,
like,
same with Marcus. Marcus's assists are going to come a lot easier too. Like, if he's
when you have people who can shoot when you pass to them, absolutely,
exactly.
Yeah, so, I mean, the offense is elite. They're scoring $120 a game at this point. You're right. I mean, more buckets lead to more assists. There's no question about it. But I want to hit on what Josue said. Like, I'm still not sure. I don't know Josue. Maybe he's different. We just didn't see him last year, so we don't really know. Like, how different is he?
You got to go to Maine.
I mean, but when he would go there, he'd score a zillion points in Maine. He was scoring so free. His numbers in Maine when he was playing were so ridiculous. And obviously it's Maine. It's not comparable. But then you just watch the guys that they had here with Romeo and Neesmith and this desperate need for a wing scorer, and you'd put them in there, and those guys would just be so disappointing so consistently. And people were begging for it. Like, why not just give this guy a shot? And we're like joking about it. Like, he must be so bad and so slow and so unplayable on defense that he's never someone that they could ever use. Then all of a sudden, they're just like, no, Hauser's a big part of what we're doing. And we're like, what? So, like, I didn't believe it. And then he's out there, and he, like, looks terrific. And it still blows my mind why this guy wasn't given an opportunity. I'm going to put something up from one of our Twitter users. 3-Sam, how to have a 3-Sam? Why not?
Whoa!
I know, right?
Oh yeah,
okay.
Jimmy, you weren't there. Yeah, Saturday. That's his new nickname, for now at least.
I'm just looking at the graphic.
Under the monitor, Celtics highlights. A Twitter follower submitted this, so I'm putting it up there.
Jimmy thought that was him for a second. He thought that was his face for like 1 second.
3-Sam is the. We were looking for the nickname, and 3-Sam, I think, so far is a clubhouse leader.
3-Sam, I kind of like that. There's been a couple people. I think somebody even paid John to get their.
People
could have sworn I saw like a $2 there. Somebody wanted.
People thought that was too risque for the Garden Report crowd.
I'm sorry for our young viewers. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry, Deuce. O'clock. Sorry, Deuce.
It's a home 10 o'clock.
It's a home game. Deuce saw that. Sorry, buddy.
3-Sam.
I gotta keep it clean for Deuce.
The West Coast road trip. You have to wait for that.
Right.
Get that kind of content.
Yeah, gotta keep it clean.
No, John, I do think it's relevant for sure. I mean, obviously Malcolm Brogdon helps that. Someone like Hauser who can make things easier, and him getting his touches and getting his shots and his good looks. But I also think it's him. I also think he saw the green light when he found out Danilo Gallinari is going to be out. I mean, let's face it, whether this was going to happen regardless, if Gallinari's healthy, I think it would have at least delayed this, right? You know, Hauser would have took him a moment. It would have took him a while to sort of impress the head coach and into thinking that he deserved minutes. And I think this made the path a little smoother for him to, you know, to get minutes and obviously prove himself. And he's all of a sudden one of the best 3-point shooting, you know, players in the NBA. You know, 11 games in the world, right? World class shooter.
It's insane. But like guys like him are the reason why the Celtics offensive rating is tops in the league right now. It's why they're scoring 120 plus points. It's obviously Tatum and Brown being Tatum and Brown, but you're not doing it without the complementary players. The huge boosts to the offense right now is sadly Rob not being out there just creates more space and shooting. So obviously there's just more opportunities to score. They're playing with a greater pace. There's just more shooters on the floor. But that's, you know, that's a huge trade-off on the defensive side. But guys like Brogdon and Hauser are the reason why, you know, that second unit. I mean, how many games have they won this year where all of their starters were in negative territory and and the bench just went out there and just lit it up? So I'm going to put this up there because you're going to throw 50 at us in a super chat. Yeah, you're getting some screen time.
Good looks.
Good looking out.
You could have saved it.
Take an Uber tonight. No, I'm just kidding.
Good looking out,
guys. All right. You read.
Thank you. That's gonna get Bobby home tonight.
I feel like Jacob did something. I feel like that name rings a bell. I feel like he left. He
might have.
Do
we think they could get Sabonis? No, because I think Sabonis was just acquired as a big haul, you know, to you know, from Sacramento as like a guy that they were going to try to build around to have a star. So I don't think that that's a type of guy you can get for anything that you have on the roster. But man, that would be a really sexy player to add to this mix. If someone would just gift you Sabonis, that would be outstanding. But I think that that's too much of a luxury item type of guy, both in terms of salary and both in terms of what it would take to get him. You're only getting a guy like Sabonis if you want to give up a guy like Jaylen Brown, and I don't think anybody's ready to do that. What do you think, Jimmy?
I don't think they're ready to do that right now. I mean, why would you make such a drastic listen, I love Sabonis. I'm not even going to tell you what I used to say about Sabonis, because even though you did put three Sam up there, but anyways.
No, Jimmy, the guy just paid $50, man. Why don't you go ahead and tell us?
No, I'm not going to tell because I don't want to get in trouble. But bottom line is, all you need to know is that I love Sabonis, and it's too bad that he's in Sacramento where he's inevitably just going to toil away into nothing.
Is it a play on the name with bone in the word?
It is, yeah. Basically,
okay.
I take it back.
No.
It is, yeah, it is.
Sorry, Jacob.
Yeah. No, it's basically I'm getting a Saboner.
I'm getting a Sabonis.
I'm getting a Saboner every time I watch him go off on the Celtics or whoever. I said it, all right. You can bleep it out after the fact.
I think teenage Josue would have picked up on that.
I figured you out.
I didn't get it.
Anyways, that being said, I don't think that this is the right time to make a trade like that. Now, am I totally eliminating the idea of Sabonis in Boston? No. In fact, I'm fairly certain that Arvydas Sabonis was a massive Celtics fan. I read that somewhere. I think it was Wikipedia, so I know it's true. But there's some kind of connection there. I just don't know if it matches up right now. But I do love Sabonis. Try to find a center, and also like he's not a guy he's not a guy that you just try to find to save Al Horford. Like he's like a centerpiece type of guy. It's not going to come at a cheap price. There are guys out there that you could bring in to sort of spell Horford, but it's not Sabonis.
Literally every European guy of that age, of Arvydas' age, was a Celtics fan back then. When the game really started to go international and the Celtics were a big deal in the 80s there, basically if you were a basketball fan, you were Celtics or Lakers, and Arvydas was a big fan.
That's so true.
Another
it was
super
still
chat.
like that, John, like 20 years ago, right?
Look at this.
Either Lakers.
All right, so this guy paid 20.
Yeah, you're right, Josue. It was.
It was what? What did Josue say?
Don't worry about it, bro.
Oh, I was gonna commend you.
3-can Sam.
This guy gave us. This guy paid
20 years ago. It was like
full
that.
Hauser.
Yeah. All right, so this guy paid $20 to give us 3 nicknames that I don't even get these nicknames. I don't get these.
Number one's not bad.
I don't get these. 3-can Sam. Okay, I like 3-can Sam.
I like it. Sammy Davis. I don't get the shooter portion.
Sammy Davis shooter.
Junior shooter. a bit of a reach, but I get it, I guess.
I'm not going to disparage the $20 donation.
Full
but
Hauser with Slimmy Dribbler. What does that mean? Does anyone
I
know
don't
what
get
that
it.
means?
But I feel like Full Hauser has some merit, right?
Full Hauser?
I feel like Full Hauser was slapped like 20 years ago. Like if the show was like, I mean, people obviously remember the show, but it's just not as popular.
I would do like Howitzer. How's Hauser the
Someone
Howitzer?
put that in
Hauser
the
the
comments.
Howitzer.
Something
That one's in
Howitzer, I
there.
saw that.
That
Yeah.
one's in
That
there.
one's in there? Maybe I saw it.
Someone will throw it up there again.
We had the
I like
Hauser.
this one. This one's not bad. House Money.
House Money was in there. 3 Sam I Am. That
Full
people are
House.
kind of on the Doogie Hauser, but that doesn't have anything to do with basketball.
Someone just wrote Kimmy Gibbler.
Oh, that's
It's a
what
Full
it means.
House thing. I don't think it's a nickname for Sam.
Slimmy Dribbler. That's what you meant. Kimmy Gibbler, Slimmy Dribbler. See that?
Okay, all right, a little bit.
Yeah. John, I hate to say it. We got Jacob's back.
Somebody's got mad at me just for literally mentioning that Jaylen Brown would be the only way to get Sabonis. I didn't say do it, guys. He's a freaking superstar. What do you think you're getting him for a Hauser? Like, I wouldn't even do that, by the way. I wouldn't even do that.
You guys think the Sacramento Kings want to hit the reset button again and just give away Sabonis or whatever? Like, yeah, they want something in return.
Sabonis is nice. Sabonis isn't coming here, guys.
At least not
It's
yet.
not Jacob, what are you doing?
Jacob.
Oh man, damn! Jacob hit the lotto.
Dude,
Good looks.
what's Jacob do for work?
Powerball winner, Jacob.
All right. Everybody be cool.
I know, right?
Right.
Play it off.
Jimmy, I'm the one who asked about a Porzingis.
Appreciate it, Jacob.
Is there anyone available at a decent price point Bobby is better than Luke?
First of all,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Jacob, everyone is better than Luke. I can't watch him. He looks
What about earlier tonight?
I can't watch the guy.
When he contested that corner three, granted he was 10 feet away, but he still
did it.
went up.
Yeah.
I can't watch him do that anymore.
That.
Why not, John? They've missed every time. It's like every player's missed that shot. People can say it's goofy, but he's undefeated so far.
I don't know. It might be the haircut.
It's the socks and the shoes.
It's all of
I
it.
figured it out
It was
last
a
year.
deer in the headlight look, but he's improved on that too.
It's the socks and the shoes. It looks like he just came from like his day job and he just tossed on, like he's wearing like his dress socks. It almost looks like.
He's so slow and I wish I was a baby. You know, like he's just everything he does is just kind of like do.
Leave him alone. Hey, leave him alone. Bobby's not even here to defend him right now. All right?
How dare you talk about him without Bobby here? That's rude.
Now, as far as like, I wish I had a list of guys that I could just rifle off right now that they could bring on. But they did get that injured player exception, right, for like 3-point-something million.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a buyout market. There always is. And if the Celtics continue to be in this position, they will actually have some suitors. And typically you get one or two couple of vets that get bought out, and you mix in a big man or two. I don't know who those would be at this time, but they're not really looking to make any major, additions. I think, unfortunately, as much as I think they need to improve at the center spot, I don't know how they would do it right now. I mean, there's a couple guys. I mean, what's the deal with Grant? Are they even able to? I'm not saying to try. I'm just saying if you're trying to shore up certain positions or bring in certain skill levels, then you got to look at what your tradable options are. You're not just going to get somebody for the hell of it for nothing. So maybe if Bobby's on here, if we get Bobby back on this show, we can ask him who he thinks might be available for a low price point, because I'm not the guy who's going to know.
Yeah, I mean
Porzingis is we talked about Porzingis a couple shows ago. I think that guy's kind of I don't know if he's got the right attitude, or at least he hasn't from everything I've seen and heard of the teams in the past.
He doesn't fit. You can say he doesn't fit.
Everybody hates him.
Yeah, everyone hates him.
I don't think he fits the offense. Like, he just doesn't fit this offense. Like,
right.
Especially the way they're clicking right now.
Right.
Everyone hates him.
But no, I think you're spot on though with the the buyout market. I know Celtics fans don't want to hear that right now. They want to hear some names, some examples, but it's just hard right now in this point of the season, right? Teams aren't just selling players quite yet, so we have to wait and see. Right. And you big men, hanging around.
What is up, Jimmy?
Jacob's back, man.
I know he's coming in hot.
Damn, Jacob.
Spread it out, save it, okay? We're gonna get big heads,
Jacob's back, man. Hey, Jacob's back. I did ask him what he did for work.
Was that you?
Well, I asked
Threw
him
down.
What he did for work.
Yeah.
He answered it. You're gonna toss it up?
We got to pay.
Jacob's like a stock in the company.
Guys, super chats are great. Another thing that you guys can do to help us out, and we love all of it, honestly, thank you, is support our sponsors, and Athletic Greens is one of them. And I got to tell you, our cup runneth over with sponsors right now. We got another one coming on the Garden Report soon.
Okay.
But we do want to talk about Athletic Greens, which is a sponsor we've had for the last few months.
AG1, baby.
AG1, and it's one that we all like and one that we all use. Here at the Garden Report, for several reasons, we just want to feel better about ourselves, and we do. And that's why we take AJ1, 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced ingredients, helps you start your day right. It supports gut health, your nervous system, immune system, energy, recovering, focus, aging, all of those things. As we said, why do we take it? Because it's a great way to start your day. Boom, one scoop in a cup of water, you're done. You don't have to worry about going out and shopping for a zillion different pills and supplements. You just kind of take AG1 and you're good. There's no sugar in it at all. It's diet friendly. It has a lot of other health benefits. Yeah, a lot of health benefits, as we mentioned. It costs
gut
basically $3 a day. All of that stuff.
One scoop will help you poop. That's gut health right there, folks.
It's great.
It's trouble.
Yeah.
Down the hatch it goes.
It's a good company. It's climate neutral certified. 2020, AG donated over 1.2 million meals to kids. So it's it's a responsible company, gives back, and does a lot of good things, for the world, for the community, but for you as well. And that's what's important here is, reclaiming your health, arming your immune system, convenient daily nutrition. As we said, just one scoop, cup of water every day. No need for a million different pills and supplements. We're going to give you gifts. We got gifts, 1 year supply, immune supporting vitamin D, 5 free travel packs. If you go to athleticgreens.com/garden, check it out. It really is worth it. At least poke around. If you're interested, you've always been interested in something like this, this is a really good option. Do your research, Google it. We don't want to lead you astray. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But if you do check it out and you are at all interested, it would help us out tremendously if you went through that website, athleticgreens.com/garden. That way they know you came from us, and you get your little gift there as well. So please check that out as well. As we mentioned, Bobby is coming on the show in a little bit, and we'll get his take on all things. We will also briefly talk about what's going on with the latest involving Ime Udoka, who is still here. Surprise!
John, before we get to that, I gotta put this up. I gotta put this comment up.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know.
This is crazy.
That's what's up. You're
shout out to Jacob. Amazon driver in Cali, dude. He's probably got the he's probably doing his route as we speak. He's got the YouTube streaming on the dashboard. Everyone's looking for their packages. Everything's out of order. Everything's late. It's getting the wrong stuff. It's all good though. Shout out Jacob. Thanks, man.
Dudley, we love hearing from you in any form, Dudley. And so, what's up, my man?
Good looking out, Dudley.
Dud. It's just. Dude,
I can hear the bass in that text.
We gotta
John, I gotta tell you.
What?
Oh boy. We gotta do. I missed that.
I was gonna say we gotta do that. We gotta do that soon.
When Dudley starts to preach, man, everyone's quiet. Everyone listens.
Dudley, my favorite part of every chat that we would do, and just for the people who aren't familiar, we would do a lot of stuff. We used to do something with locker. What was it called before?
Locker room.
locker room, then it became
Locker
green
room was the
room,
first one.
then it got
Then it was
destroyed,
spot.
and then we stopped doing it.
Rest in peace to all those audio rooms that I don't know what happened to them, man.
But we started doing some Twitter spaces as well, and we may continue with that on a regular basis. But Dudley was one of our superstars, and when Dudley would come on, I knew I could go like, I'm gonna take a little break. Dud's gonna roll with it for a little bit.
I'll be honest.
Dud and
It was like a
Kess,
segment. Yeah.
Dud and Kess would keep me from having a talk, which is great.
Which is great for everybody.
Which is great for everybody involved.
Fresh air.
Yeah.
Dudley could probably go toe to toe with Perk, in terms of like the voices going back and forth. Those
but
guys.
nobody can put anybody down like Perk when he tells you to put some bass in that voice if you're gonna talk to me. He just broke a guy. Yo, man, if you're gonna come at me, you gotta put some bass in your voice. That was great.
Dude sounded like Mickey Mouse after that.
Yeah. Perk, I was wondering.
Okay. Always a big fan.
I love the show. Sounded like Peyton Manning and Tariq Glenn in that video that was circulating on Twitter earlier this week. No. We're cool. Yeah. No, you're good. I'm good with you.
You're one of my favorites. Oh wait.
I've always liked you.
Just completely took away anything he had to say, pretty much. That was
that's good stuff. But we missed that. We missed the chats. We will get back into those as well. Other things for this game, and again, I'm trying to hold the line here and let Bobby have some say, but Bobby just loves talking to Luke.
What Bobby loves? He loves the locker room, man. He's getting his locker room.
Luke and the boys.
Luke and the boys
hanging out, doing his thing.
About to hop on.
What did Luke say, man? Yeah, I know. He's been texting us saying he's hopping on.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh
guys,
boy.
Chatting with Luke.
Oh boy, John. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, Bobby is on the beat. He is. He's on. Last year we had bike watch. This year we've got hand watch. Bobby's going in there and he's just kind of looking around.
Bobby goes. Dude,
Bobby's walking in the locker room.
You see Bobby in the locker room with a tape measure. You better clear out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that segment 2 nights ago. I'm glad it's on Twitter. I'm glad it's up there.
He just couldn't stop himself. We tried to stop him, Josue. We did everything we could.
We did.
This, in fact, and again, I was given a sneak peek because somebody did tell me what Bobby did look like in the locker room just a minute ago, and it was something like this.
That's too good. Oh no!
Let me see them hands.
Let me see them hands.
Yeah, let me see them
Everyone's like, dude, back off me, man.
Spread them. He just walked up to him. Spread them. What do you mean spread them? Let me see your hands. Spread your hands out. Show me your hands.
So yeah, Bobby's in there doing work right now with his tape measure. He'll hopefully be jumping on the show in a little bit to check it out. The graphic, of course, courtesy of super producer Amit Bhattacharjee.
Oh, love it.
Amit said, I was waiting for the opportunity to drop it. It had to be perfect.
It was.
So that was that. Yeah. So thanks to Amit, of course, thanks to Tim Shields, who's working behind the scenes here as well. We have some of the best, most dedicated producers in the business right now helping us, put on this show for you. So, yeah, Bobby's in there. Bobby's doing good work right now.
Well, he's doing work. We're not so sure how good it is. I guess we'll find out. We'll grill him when he comes onto the show. What is it that you're doing in there?
What are you doing? What's he doing over there?
What is it that you do here?
So I wanted to. What else did I had a couple other things in my notes I wanted to talk about. We kind of hit on the main stuff, and we're not allowed to talk about Brogdon anymore. But that's mainly it. One thing I liked really minor. Oh, I wrote this down. One thing I liked is really minor, this seemed intentional, and I thought it was pretty cool. When Tatum came out firing and he went, he scored the 16 points of those 5 minutes there, and there was a timeout. They came out of that timeout, and the next couple of plays went to Jalen. That was pretty important, and I think that was on purpose, because how many times last year would you see this followed a script of last year a little bit. JB hot early, Tatum a little bit quiet, not to be heard of, and then Tatum all of a sudden pours it on and becomes the guy, and Jaylen Brown completely disappears, floats away from the action, isn't involved at all. Sometimes would get himself mentally out of the games, and we'd talk about whether either they're not giving them the ball enough, stuff's not being called for him, or he's just kind of not going to get it and he stopped being aggressive. And that happens from time to time. And Joe clearly, I think, saw that and was very that seemed like on purpose. We're running this play for Jaylen. It was a set play off the timeout, and then he got another shot again right after that on the next possession, so he could get involved as well. I don't know if you guys picked up on that or thought that was intentional. I thought that was great by Joe.
I'm glad you brought that up, John, because at the end of the quarter, Jaylen hits the last shot, right? I think he left like a few seconds on the clock, but hits the last shot, and right after,
they're talking.
They're talking. You saw that, right?
Yep,
I don't want to, speculate if it was a debate or heated discussion, but there was some back and forth, but there was a lot of explaining out there, and I feel like Joe Mazzulla's maybe pointing something out that he wished he did better, or maybe pointing something out that he did do well. But it was definitely discussed. Those last couple of minutes were discussed, and you could tell he was trying to get Jaylen his touches and keep him engaged offensively for sure.
Yeah, so that felt intentional. Well, welcome in, Bobby.
Bobby, what did you get in your passport picture?
What's going on?
I'm gonna go see Jaylen right now.
All right.
Yeah, Jason's gonna be at the podium. Yeah, good game.
See you, Joe.
I heard you guys talking about Jaylen. I actually just talked to him in the locker room about the last 10 games here. It feels like this isn't the start he wanted.
What'd you talk to him about?
We left that. We left that outside the locker room. Wow, that looks like a shirt I would wear too.
Yeah.
It is a shirt.
You're jacked in that. Anyway, yeah. So what
I think you're wearing that shirt now, to be honest.
Yeah, so he's saying it's an adjustment the way he's playing now under Jaylen Brown, or under Joe Mazzulla rather. They have him running off ball more often, setting screens away from the ball, all that different kind of stuff. And he said it's been difficult to adjust to that, and he has faith in what they're doing offensively, but it's an adjustment for him. And I did see the thing you guys were talking about. I also saw him kind of get an extended run. On the ball in the midway point of the game there, and did some good things in this game. I thought in terms of playmaking, nice around the back pass to Horford, slowed the game down quite a bit. No turnovers as you see down there. So this was an important night for him. I liked at the end of the game too, where they really forced the issue to get him up to that 20-point mark, get him up to that 30-point mark. You look at Brown and Tatum's stats, like they're dead even every game. 20 shots, 20, 30 points, 20, 30
Jalen's
points.
actually slightly ahead, right? He had coming into tonight, he was, I think, 1 shot per game more than Tatum. So he's getting his looks.
Yeah, but I find that comment interesting by him, that this is an adjustment for him, the way they're playing offensively. I remember last year, Ime was saying that this was an adjustment for him defensively. He was used to guarding guys one-on-one, like really staying in that individual matchup, and all the switching was a big adjustment for him. And then obviously by the end of the year, ended up acclimating pretty well to it. So maybe we'll see Brown grow slowly in this new offense as the year goes on.
But that's where a game like a couple nights ago comes in with Brown, where he kind of slips into that old habit of like, is it my turn? And he'll get the ball and he'll kind of force the issue a little bit, as opposed to letting offense come to him. Because maybe at times last year, this is what we were talking about. There were times last year where it just not enough stuff did come to him or did run through him. He'd get hot early and then he would absolutely disappear, and it looked like they weren't involving him and in some things, and you wouldn't see him again or hear from him again after a hot first quarter until the fourth quarter. And so you have situations like last game where he's just like, all right, I'm just going to go try to do a bunch of stuff, and he was playing out of control, and he's played out of control at times this year. So you got to make sure that you're integrating him, that it's part of what you're trying to do here, and not forget that, like, oh yeah, I've got this other guy who can drop 30 any given night here.
Yeah, and it's all about getting off the ball for everybody involved. And Horford was talking about that after the game tonight. The ball is going to come back around to everybody pretty much, the way that they're playing offensively. They're all kind of screening. You're having second-level actions when guys aren't getting. There was a play in this game, where the Pistons really prevented Tatum from getting the ball. Is one that stuck out to me. And you pretty much saw him stay in the corner as a diversion. They went over to the other side, set up an action. I think it was White and Grant in a pick and roll, and try to kind of draw the defense in again. And they were able to fire the ball back out to Tatum and get him another look. Didn't end in a make, but it's just the way this offense can really shapeshift to create different stuff when the defense counters it. And that's what Brown has to buy into, the fact that, like, if there's nothing there, get it out. You can run another action on the other side. You don't have to just drive into traffic to create something. I like his aggression at times, right? Because he can crack open the great rim protectors in this league. We saw that against Cleveland. But then, like you said, in that Memphis game, John, it's just dribbling into nowhere and 7 turnovers.
I have the ball now. I'm just going to go. And again, that's I think bad habits of before. Tatum has recognized that thing that you said of like the ball movement and getting the ball back. And we said this a lot last year, and that was the problem with Tatum. He was too deliberate. He was holding onto the ball too long, instead of pass it, work it around, relocate, get yourself to a better spot, get the ball back. You see how many times that's happened with Tatum where he has done that this year, and he has given the ball up and he's moved around and he's gotten it somewhere else. Like, you have to have faith that, like, once you get rid of the ball, like, it's not gone forever. It's not like, and so sometimes I think, Brown can forget that. Sometimes Tatum can forget that. Sometimes you want them to see if they can take over games. There's a balance there. Sometimes you just want Jalen to be Jalen and Tatum to be Tatum. But, like you said, trust in the offense a little bit. I think Sherrod's trying to sneak in as well. And just let things happen, because right now they're moving the ball so well and they're getting so many people the ball in good places to score. That pace and the way that they're kind of whipping it around there, is one of the reasons why the offense has been as good as it's been. What's up, Sherrod?
What's going on, fellas?
You get your Detroit reunion or no?
Hey, Sherrod.
Sherrod already bounced. He's out of here.
You talked to your people and left?
I did. I had a good conversation with Dwayne Casey, good conversation with the GM of the Pistons, Troy Weaver, who will never, ever, ever have to buy a drink in Syracuse, New York for the rest of his life, because he was the guy that got Carmelo Anthony to come to Syracuse, and Bobby knows all too well what that means. So, yeah, it was a good night. Celtics win. I saw my peeps from Detroit. All is well. That ends well.
That's the mayor. I was saying you're like the mayor when Detroit comes to town. You know everybody in that organization.
I know a couple people there. There.
Less people now.
Did you guys talk about Sam Hauser?
Sam who? We haven't. Wow. What did he do tonight?
Oh wow. I hate you, Jimmy.
No. This is something. Did any one of us really? Who had the most Hauser stock on this show?
I don't know. You? But
I didn't have a lot.
I don't think any of us had enough.
Not enough, though. No, not enough. Definitely did not have enough.
Well, whose fault is that? The Celtics hid him last year. They hid him from us. They said he wasn't ready to play. They kept the training wheels on him up in Maine.
This is the thing about him, though, that I find interesting. When you look at what he's doing, he's making open shots. At what point our defenses are going to accept the fact that he's kind of out there to make shots? You might want to get a hand in his face. You might want to get in his zip code when he has the ball in his hands. I know Tatum is great and Jalen is great, but at some point, when are you going to put some respect on Sam Hauser's game defenses?
What are you going to do, though? Like, you're not going to dedicate. You just have to play your game. You've got to collapse on the guy, on Tatum.
They can do what they did to Grant, run him off the line.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They're not even doing that, though. He's literally catching the ball. They're not moving. And what is he going to do? He's going to raise up and do what he's paid to do, knock down shots. I'm shocked that we're 10 games into the season and not a single team has made any type of adjustment.
That's what I mean. I'm worried that one day we're gonna wake up and everyone's gonna be like, oh yeah, we can't let Sam Hauser do that, and it's just gonna stop, But I just don't know that it will, because again, if you have an offense that has guys, and especially in that second unit, you're playing against a lot of times other teams' second units. You've got Brogdon, who's totally fine, by the way, Sherrod. You've got Brogdon out there who's running the offense and getting into the paint and drawing attention. You're almost always playing with Tatum, so you have to give him extra attention. Like, you're just you'll swing it to open shooters. even last year, they would have guys open. They just couldn't hit shots the same way that Hauser could. So you're right. You have to worry about it, and they have to do something because it's automatic. He's a freaking 50% 3-point shooter, and I think he will be for the rest of his life if he keeps getting looks like this.
Yeah, but he did show a couple of things in this game that were a little bit different. Those little baseline, I call them the Avery Bradley plays, where Tatum just found it for just layups because teams are so damn worried about him behind the 3-point line that they're not paying attention when he's moving without the ball.
I don't get this one.
I don't either.
Spaghetti house? Is that supposed to be spaghetti sauce?
Spaghetti house.
Hey.
What are you doing, Jimmy?
I don't know.
You're not going to beat 3 Sam that you guys
No, 3 Sam's great.
No. We haven't even put anything up on that picture of 3 Sam.
We had a good picture out there too. Bobby, Bobby, is the party starting behind? What's going on?
Yeah, everyone's.
Yeah, I muted you. Sorry about that. It got really loud. I love you. I want to hear what you have to say, but it's super loud right now coming through on that stuff. Sherrod, other thoughts on the game? I'll give you guys kind of a shot here. Obviously, we talked about Hauser. We talked about Brogdon. Mazzulla's comments were not super encouraging after the game, saying we're still evaluating it. We'll see tomorrow. So, you don't like Brogdon and injuries in the same sentence, so we'll see what happens there. But it is what it is as far as that goes. Other thoughts just on the game itself?
Their defense didn't totally suck today, which is progress. But it has to get better than this. I mean, this became more of a shootout kind of game with Detroit, that they're always going to win that battle against a team like Detroit and against most teams in the NBA. But that defense has to start putting together, not just multiple quarters, but they've got to put together solid games. And they've had their moments this year defensively, but as a group, they're still not quite where they should be right now defensively. I'm a little concerned about it. I mean, not ready to hit the panic button or anything, but I'm concerned that we're not seeing more consistent stretches of elite play defensively. Even without,
you got to be a little bit because it's been so consistently off. You know what I mean? Like there's something going on. You can't just keep throwing your hands up and saying, "Oh, Rob's not here." And I find it interesting.
I just don't care.
Well, I find it interesting that they changed the starting lineup the last couple of games here.
I also find it interesting how Grant isn't playing well as a starter, and that's something that happened last year too.
Wasn't that the big issue and concern with Grant, that he would just kind of go back to sucking if he's a starter, but he's pretty solid when he's coming off the bench?
I don't get that one. I really don't even know what the reason would be for that. Maybe that's lineups you're going against, defenders. But
it's real. The competition is weaker when you're playing on that second unit. That's always the case. And you have more freedom and an ability to kind of do your thing without worrying that, like, I could take this shot, but I got all these super awesome players around me. I should probably give them the ball, right? So, like, it's different. It's different operating
that game
with those
in Memphis
guys.
was weird, but I think what they're looking for with him is having switchability. They want to get back to that, it feels like. Like, they really want to get back to that aggressive scheme. They're letting Grant guard point guards. They love what he did against Morant. They love what he did against Cade in this game. But the offense needs to come with it. You're right. Like, passing up shots in Memphis, weird. Tonight, not super aggressive. Ended up fouling, getting a bad foul underneath at one point on Ivy, and went to the bench looking really frustrated. So we'll see how that develops. Again, I think Mazzulla was pretty happy with how he's done the last few games, but they're really stressing for him to be aggressive.
Yeah,
that comment is the one that when you posted about 20 million. That's kind of what concerns me though about like Grant. Like, is that going to be something that his team, his camp, starts to put in his ear? Like, hey man, you want to get paid, you want to get that next contract, you got to do more. You got to do you out there. I don't know if this sort of team first basketball, and he's still making the right play for the team, but is that going to be something that creeps into his head a little bit as the season goes on? Like, I need to make sure I have a bigger role here.
I don't think so. We saw him try different things early on, all that experimenting, attacking the basket, making plays in the lane. He did a decent job balancing it, I felt like. There weren't many plays where he was out of control and trying to do too much.
I don't think it's a concern, Jimmy, that you're going to get that from his team, but I do think it's a concern when you're talking about just how high are you willing to go. It's a reality of
Well,
who
right. He's trying to
Grant.
show his worth.
But it's a reality of who Grant Williams is. It's the same thing we talk about with Marcus Smart. Like, why pretend he's something he's not? Can't you just celebrate the thing that he is and he's good at? That's what kind of Grant Williams thing is. He's a nice guy off the bench. He's a versatile guy. He can play big for you in a small ball lineup. He knocks down threes. He's a switchable defender. Does a lot of that stuff for you. But he's not a cornerstone player. He's not a guy who's probably ever going to start for a championship caliber team. He's a very. I don't think so.
I think he's your starter after Horford, right?
I mean, that's crazy. You're gonna have some problems there. I mean, but maybe that is. Maybe that is.
Yeah, he's still young.
I feel like he's not like
Defensively-
Olenek. I feel like he's in like the Olenek category. Where
I
it's
think
like,
that's
you
fair,
don't
Jimmy. Yeah.
want him
I
to
don't
be
know.
like
I mean,
a
he's
starter.
gone to a pretty high level defensively.
Oh, really? We just trashed on them about how bad they were on defense all season.
Yeah, and now he's in the lineup to help adjust that. Like, I think he's become one of the
He's
more
fine.
important guys on that end.
He's fine.
He's guarding
He's
John
fine.
Morant.
I think he's in.
Not many fours can do that.
I think he's in there because you didn't want to get murdered.
John Morant
on
had
the
a pretty
board.
good game, Bobby.
You're trying to get a little bit more beef, so you're not getting killed on the boards as much as much as anything else. It's not like removing Derek White from the starting lineup makes you that much better a defensive team. He's fine. He's fine. He's fine. He's fine. He's fine. He's fine. He's fine.
He's fine.
He's fine.
So you want White back in, or you want to keep him in there?
I don't know what you do here. I think you can mix and match. I don't think you have to be dedicated. I think you have a very clear understanding of who your big four is, and I think you can absolutely mess around and switch around between White or between Grant or when Rob comes back between Rob, and I think you're fine there. I think you can mess around. I do wonder if it's just going to be automatically insert Rob in there and go back to what you had at the beginning of last year, or whether Joe really likes the kind of groove that the offense is in now with a little bit more space.
Very interesting.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I'll let you guys keep if you have anything else on the game. Otherwise, I want to bring up briefly the other bit of news today. You got anything else on the game?
Yeah.
Nah, bringing that news.
Yeah, bringing in that
Bobby.
news.
Okay. So Brooklyn's hiring Jacques Vaughn as the head coach, and they will not hire Ime Udoka, which is not surprising. The reporting is still weird on this in the sense of it's unclear why. The report today from Shams said the vetting process was too long, and then the third reason was there was pressure internally and externally not to do it. The vetting process was dragging on too long. That seems an insane reason to not hire a guy you wanted as coach. And then the third was the uncertainty with the team, which to me is really bizarre because that's a reason why Ime wouldn't take the job, not the reason why you wouldn't go get a head coach that you like. So I really do wonder whether this is a bit of a combo platter of the Nets catching some heat and Ime saying, I don't know if I want to deal with this shit show, even though he does want to obviously coach again, I'm sure, and wants to be free of this purgatory that he's in. But still, no advancement of the story. We still don't have any details. We don't know if whatever it was that he did has come to light, at least to the Nets organization, in a way that they're like, we got to steer away from this guy, or nobody knows. But we do know it's probably a combo of a lot of different things, but it's a weird story. But now the reality is, all we do know is the Celtics, who, as Marcus Smart, said a couple of weeks ago, and Jaylen Brown echoed the same sentiments, were shocked that Ime was going to the Nets, felt a little misled by the organization, and kind of thought the whole time that Ime would be available to return to them at some point or another. Well, that's not the case because the Celtics obviously want to just get rid of him, but now he's back. So you've got this kind of weird, murky situation all over again.
You think the Nets saw the text and they were like, yeah, we can't hire this guy?
I don't think so. I think the Kyrie thing hurt them. They didn't want more bad press, and I think part of it might have been Ime as well. But I don't know. What's your take, guys? I think it could be both. What's your take, guys?
I think they realized that when you weigh the positives that he could bring and the negatives, it was a short and long-term failure that if they brought him in there. You would be hurt in the moment, you'd be hurt down the road, because if you let's just assume that they did hire Ime. You can see the writing on the wall. Kevin Durant, in all likelihood, is not going to be a Brooklyn Net next year. Kyrie Irving, in all likelihood, is not going to be a Brooklyn Net next year. And if you're Ime Udoka, that again, you just left a year suspension being punished for that. You take that job, that's probably you're a year away from being punished all over again and not able to have the kind of roster that you thought you were going to have. And I think Brooklyn underestimated the pushback that they would get for even contemplating bringing him in. And again, I've said this before, of all the NBA cities, for you to have a coaching issue, the anti-Semitic stuff with Kyrie, and just all the stuff going on, Brooklyn, I mean, they've always had this we need to be more respected thing. And when you have that chip on the shoulder mindset as your community, the last thing you want to do is be getting hit with negative bullshit that you could have some control over. I mean, you can control who you hire as a coach. You can have some semblance of control over how you handle Kyrie and his drama, which they completely screwed that up. And so now it's just like, what are we going to do? Let's just actually get some control over our organization so that we don't look like asses over and over again. And Jacques Vaughn is not exactly, the second incarnation of, Popovich, even though he's from but
I was going to say, how
he's
are you
John
going
Wooden, but you could do worse. I don't know how much you can do a lot better. You damn sure can do a lot better, but you could do worse than Jacques Vaughn as your head coach.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. I just think that the pressure, the outside noise, it was just too much for them to handle, and it was just too risky. I mean, if this thing doesn't work, if players check out on Ime, then what? The season is done. I just think they counted the pros and cons, and they said, look, we're just better off going with Jacques Vaughn, and next year we're probably going to do a full rebuild, and let's just get away from the news, because if Ime comes in here, we're going to remain in the news for the next, cycle, for the next 2-3 weeks. Everyone's going to be looking at how the Nets are doing, and I just think at the end of the day, they found out that it just wasn't worth it. They weren't willing to take that risk, and they didn't trust this personnel, to be, okay, guys, we have to shape up now. We have to really get it together and do this for Ime. I just think they looked at it and said, this thing is like 50-50. It could really go. If it goes the other way, then we're screwed, and we could really mess this up. And I think that they just cut their losses, and they were tired of hearing their names in the news, and whether between Kyrie and between Ime, and Ime comes on, they're not going to leave that news cycle for a while. So they saw that, they saw what was coming, and they said, let's just not deal with Ime and go with Jacques Vaughn.
What is interesting? Go ahead, Bobby.
That could be part of it. I'm sure that was there from the start, though. One of the other reasons listed in that report, John, is that they're getting the sense that maybe it's just not going to happen for them this year.
This season's over. Jacques Vaughn is a steward. He's less a coach.
What do you mean?
He's the steward of this team that's just getting them to the end of the season.
Maybe a circle back with Ime in a year.
Bringing in Ime was a Hail Mary. I mean, that was a.
It's his ML Carr, kind of like you just.
Yeah, Jacques Vaughn is right. Let's try to get a top pick. That's what it is.
Yeah, they got to figure out this Kyrie situation. I think they got to focus on basketball again. Another potential distraction there on top of everything that's gone on so far. But I also think that's pretty convenient cover, that explanation for not doing it here. I think they're looking at Simmons. I think they're looking at this Kyrie situation. I think they're looking at the group that they have around Durant right now and just being like, ugh. So at that point, what do you do with your GM? Like,
how soon till the? Go ahead. Sorry.
This guy's just been flailing in the wind. Again, I think that desperation move, when you guys just mentioned, that stems from him. I think he's in a really desperate circumstance. And with everything that's gone on here, they're going to have to make a decision on him. I think you could see major changes in Brooklyn this year, up to and including Durant.
Ding, 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 ding. When does that happen, by the way?
January?
I think they should take.
That's when everyone becomes available for trades again.
They can get some of their picks back.
If you're Brooklyn, tank for Victor, right? I mean,
and they can do that, actually.
Well, they're playing better right now, and they drilled the Knicks tonight, which again is no, difficult.
Well, right, but keeping Vaughn there sort of puts some kind of tips the scale a little bit, right? I mean, it shows that they're not really going for it here.
Yeah,
no
I mean,
Kyrie, no Udoka. They kind of fly under the radar a little bit. And I think Durant likes that. I think they love that.
they're not good enough to compete, but they don't have to deal with BS. And the whole Kyrie stuff, the protest game, not doing Nash's plays, just pouting. Like I think we all agree. I think he's played his last game there, which it is what it is.
Really?
But
You
yeah,
don't think yeah.
I don't think he plays another game there.
Yeah,
he's
no
been
way.
trying. He's been trying very hard to not play basketball. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised either. The thing with Ime, this is a little different than where you guys are coming from. I'm looking at it from a Celtics perspective. Like, what's it mean for the Celtics now that Ime didn't get that job? Because I think a lot of us thought that he would take a job that would, once a coaching vacancy came up, and maybe this wasn't the best situation. Was it the situation in the Nets that prevented him from getting the job, or was it was it the NBA? Did Silver have anything to do with it? Did the Celtics have anything to do with it? Is there still an outside chance that Ime is the head coach of the Celtics next year, or is that ship completely sailed? I'm asking the questions because I don't have a clue. I don't have any answers to this. These are the questions that go through my mind when something like this happens today. Because on one hand, I thought for sure the Celtics, like you guys, thought they just want to get out of the contract, any legalities involving having to quote unquote fire him or part ways. And if he just takes the job, they wash their hands of the situation. All is well that ends well, I guess. But now it's like, okay, he's back, and where does that leave you if you're the Celtics?
You're
I
stuck.
mean, the Celtics. Yeah, well, yes and no. I think the Celtics are sending that message that they're willing to have it either way, right? I mean, if anything, they're saying, look, if you can take this guy off our hands, we don't mind. We're not even asking for compensation. I mean, we've already gone down that road. So I think if you're Ime, you're thinking, well, I don't know, maybe time can change their mind, but chances are it won't. Chances are they're ready to move on, and maybe this whole second chance for Ime, whether it's in Boston or elsewhere, is prolonged another 9-10 months, another whole year, because everyone's gonna be afraid to touch this guy even more now. That Brooklyn Nets have balked on the situation.
I don't think so. I think Ime's in a pretty good position, honestly. I think this idea that Ime wants to take whatever job right now isn't necessarily true, because if he goes with, a semi-tarnished reputation and goes to a place where he has zero chance of succeeding, that next job is going to be the one that's impossible to get. I think the further you get away from him, the less the impact is going to potentially be, and you're going to have 3, 4, 5, 6 head coaching vacancies at the end of the year, and a lot of teams will probably talk to him, and I think he'll have his say.
You don't think this is like a warning?
The reality is,
if he's still under,
I honestly, my belief is that it's never, whatever he did is something that the Celtics are never going to be able to get past. But I don't know that other teams are going to view it as their problem. I don't think they're going to view him as somebody who is somebody that they can't have be associated with their organization, mainly because if the league never stepped in the first place, I don't know that it rose to the level of something like a Sarver. Again, not comparing exact situations, rose to the level of something that they thought we have to step in. So I think that alone is enough cover for most teams to be able to say, yeah, I mean, it's something that he did there that he couldn't do in Boston. But here, it's a fresh start. I think he'll have other opportunities. If Ime, you want the Celtics to fire you because you want to get your full contract or the freedom to go on there. Celtics can't just keep kicking this suspension can down the road for past a year. So there has to be a decision on this. I think he will work again. I don't think he has to take the first job that he gets. That's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's such damaged goods and this was the only way to rehabilitate his reputation, and he's really bummed that he took it. But that's my read on the situation. I think he gets another gig or he gets other opportunities. I think he's obviously done here though, Jimmy. That's what I think.
Gotcha. Yeah, I agree with that. I just think his Jimmy, gotcha. I just think his next opportunity is delayed even more now, because teams are going to be like, whoa, we don't want protesters outside our arena. We don't want groups to show up and protest the hiring. So I think Brooklyn has scared other organizations away from doing the same type of move.
Time benefits him, John, but I think the number of teams that would be interested in him is pretty narrow. Like, you need a guy who's going to boost your ceiling, and Brooklyn obviously knew who he was, so that probably gave them some potential comfort on top of whatever backs they had. And then, does a team like Philadelphia fit that mold? Certainly not San Antonio, I wouldn't think, even when Pop retires there. And then, all these different young rebuilding teams, I'm not sure if that suits him best either. So it's a pretty narrow list, I think, when you look at what could potentially work for him
Yeah,
here. This isn't a good thing that this happened to him. He really missed an opportunity here, I think.
I think he
I think
replaces
he'll get
Doc
one.
in Philly, but that's okay. That's just
Could
my
be.
He'll
take.
just get it. He'll get
Brown-
an opportunity.
Brown reacted to it in the locker room.
Okay, John, I can see that.
I think he
What'd he
said something to the effect of, it's unfortunate what happened here in Boston. He was glad to see Ime get that opportunity, but he felt that there was probably too much going on in Brooklyn on top of the Kyrie situation. So that he kept it pretty short, but again, saying it was unfortunate what happened here, whatever that indicates.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, when he put that news on his Instagram story, like the news saying that Ime was a front runner to get the position, I looked at it as he was happy for him. He was, man,
Yeah.
this guy gets, our coach gets a second chance, regardless if it's not here, but at least he's getting a second chance, and at least it's happening this soon. So I think
said
that was his message, right?
He
but
said it after. Yeah.
A lot of people wondering, if what he felt about it after he posted that.
Yeah, eye-popping emoji. But yeah, I mean, he said he was happy for Ime. He was happy to see a black coach get a second opportunity because that isn't always the case. So, I mean, he kind of put it out there like, yeah, no, this is good. It's good for him, even though it's, it sucks for us. So any final takes on this or anything else before we wrap it up? We got another one on Friday. Malcolm Brogdon situation, obviously one we're watching, but we know he's fine. And we don't have to worry about it. He'll absolutely be fine. Really nothing to worry about.
Nothing to see here, folks. Move along.
Yeah.
I jinxed him. I
You
said
don't have to worry about it. That's the thing.
I said
Yeah,
he
Bobby.
He made
sent
it
us a text.
He made it through 11 games. He was 3 or 1/3 of the way to that total from last year, and there he goes.
You just
Bobby's like,
couldn't help
Malcolm
yourself.
Brogdon's going to play forever. He's a friggin' Iron Man. And then boom.
Yeah. Down he
Yeah.
goes.
This is
Did you guys-
big reason they got him.
Did you guys see anything stand out on how it happened? John, I think you mentioned you thought
I
you
thought
something.
I saw him on the baseline make a move. I thought he jammed his ankle or twisted something because I saw him look to the Celtics bench a little bit, finished that possession, played a little more through. Then there was a whistle. He came out, went to the locker room, and then he never came back. I thought I saw one where he just looked to pull up for a second, looked over at the bench for a second, and then kept trying to play. And I think played a couple more trips down. That's the only thing that I saw when. That was the only moment where it looked like, and the only reason I thought it is there was no reason for him to be looking over at the bench at that time. So it looked pretty benign. And if it's a hamstring, it can grab at any time. So you didn't really see it. Like you didn't see him hobble or limp or whatever. I think all of a sudden he's like, that doesn't feel great. And then he tried to jog through it and realized it was tight and came out of the game. But again, I don't know. That's the one thing I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
maybe
think I saw
2
something similar.
2 minutes before he came out of the game. It wasn't right at that time. So I don't know. We'll see. That's a story that bears watching. Wouldn't be surprising if he's out at least a couple games, but we'll see what happens beyond that. I hate to waste Amit's good effort, so I'm going to put this in here. This was our last little.
That's perfect.
Bobby in the locker room.
It's like a Giannis
Checking stuff
thing.
out.
What do you think, Bobby?
Got the.
I remember
Jalen,
this,
what do
by
you
the
think?
way. Do you remember this? This was Mark.
Yeah.
He changed it to Cornette. This is
By the way, what number am I wearing?
so this is the level of
Yeah.
dedication that Amit has. Okay, he changed this to Cornette, even though it was Marcus. Do you remember this when Marcus and Jalen were hitting
Yeah.
left-handed shots and
Yeah,
they
I
were looking at
do.
each other's
Yeah.
lefts? That's what this is from.
Oh man. Hey, that looks like a pretty
Those are
big
the
hand to
playoffs.
me.
And
I guess I'm not the expert here.
I'm
but-
wearing number 40, right, for Luke?
Yeah,
Yep.
Amit went
Sherrod's
ahead
like,
and
what the
changed
hell
it.
are
That
you
was
talking about?
36. Yeah,
Those are the little things right there. The little things matter.
that's very good
Oh
stuff.
man, that was good.
It's in the details. So thanks for you guys. Next super chat that comes in, I'm giving all of it to Amit for his hard work here.
Amit.
By the way, congrats to Luke,
that on a t-shirt.
second child. Talked to him before the game.
That's what he was going for, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He jumped in a car, made it to Boston.
Made it
I'm gonna
30
leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone.
And you had to
Brogdon
miss
drove
2
all
games?
the way.
I'm gonna leave it alone. Where did they have the child? What state?
He came back to
Boston.
Boston.
Boston, Massachusetts. He was whipping down the freeway. Well, not him,
Good
but
place
someone.
to have it. A lot of good hospitals in Boston. Good choice.
Yeah, it's a big thing here.
A lot of nurses in Boston.
Yeah.
Jimmy's gone through the whole circuit. The nurse circuit.
You guys want me to rank the best hospitals in Boston?
By nurses?
No, by the care you get, John. Jeez. Come on.
By their expertise.
It's a good time to end the show before I get
No,
myself
it's
in
great.
trouble.
We had all of our kids
Before we get canceled.
at Brigham. Good, obviously terrific
Brigham,
hospital.
huh?
Yep.
I'm a Beth Israel guy, but
Yeah, good for Luke. Good for the Celtics.
And you
We'll
look like a
hang
Beth
out.
Israel guy,
We'll hang out.
Josue.
People are mad about that I didn't wear the pink
Yeah.
hat today.
trying to make the Hall of Fame, Jimmy.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Next time.
Your
Next
opinion,
time.
what's on that hat?
It's a Truro hat. It's my
Oh, God.
it's my vacation spot.
Are you kidding me, dude? You walk around with a Truro hat?
As opposed to what? A Celtics hat? Jimmy with his
Truro, dude? Like, tell me you live in Newton without telling me you live in Newton.
Jimmy walking around with his Teddy Bruschi jersey. Hey guys, look at me! I freaking love the Pats.
With the Dunkin's
guys,
iced
look-
coffee in his hand.
Hey,
Me and my friends all look the same, and we talk the same, and we all wear our Bruschi jerseys every time we go to Foxborough.
Dude. Yeah, that's me. Yeah,
We're all 5'7".
We're vacationing in Truro this week, so we're going to the vineyards.
Oh,
in
you painted
Truro,
quite a picture.
And then we have a limo taking us to the beach.
Oh, I hate that I can see that image.
Oh
I
man.
hate that I can see that image. Man.
Anyway, funny stuff. Anyway, we'll wrap it up.
I don't
again.
own. By the way, I don't wear jerseys. For the record, I want
No,
that on record.
never.
I don't wear jerseys. I don't wear jerseys. I don't even own jerseys. I think it's
Not
kind
even
of-
the Pats? I don't know. I don't think you'd
No.
rock a Celtics jersey. But
I
wouldn't
have
get
a strong take about jerseys. You shouldn't wear a jersey for.
If you're older than the guy.
Exactly. People are gonna hate me for this. I know there's a lot of people that don't agree with that. But that's just me personally. I'm not gonna wear a jersey of a guy that I'm older than.
What was your last jersey?
Honestly, I have a KG Timberwolves jersey that I bought when I was in like 8th grade.
That's the last one you wore?
No, but I only have a few left. I have a Pierce jersey because I bought that when I was, a young guy. I don't have any.
everyone's
I don't
got
have
Pierce.
any baseball, hockey. I don't even have a football jersey. No.
I think mine might have been Chandler Jones.
The only
love
jersey
him.
I
That
would
was
wear-
before I was a Juice
The
fan.
only
no
jersey
way
I
you
would
don't
wear
have
today.
a Brady jersey. There's no
I don't
way.
have
You
it, but
don't
I
have a
was
Tom
just
Brady jersey?
I was just about to say the only jersey I would wear today for an active player would be Tom Brady because he's actually a guy that I can still look
The
up to.
Buccaneers one.
He's a lot older than us.
I would wear a Bucks one because I'm glad that he left New England after the way they treated him. Kicked
He's
him out the
coming
door.
back.
He's not coming back, John. What was that
No.
tweet all about?
Because
John
I
tweeted,
actually
I had a
it's
dream that
happening.
Tom Brady's playing
What
in
was
New
that
England
tweet
last
all
year. It was like, what is wrong with this guy?
It's happening because they keep
That
throwing
was really
verbal
unlike
bouquets.
you. That's
They
true.
keep throwing verbal bouquets at each other,
What do you
nonstop.
want him to do? I mean, they're
Yeah.
asking.
No,
Celtics
they
to
weren't
play
doing that
10,000
before,
yards.
and he's
But
unhappy.
The whole I dreamt this thing out. That's really unlike you, John.
He's unhappy, and
Yeah.
he's unencumbered.
You know what? Patriots fans don't deserve.
Did you really
Tom
see Brady
to
in
come
your
back.
dream? That's true.
Patriots fans don't deserve.
I
Tom
literally
Brady to come
woke
back.
up and I was like, "This." I was like, "Brady's coming." I knew it. I was like, "He's coming next year. It's happening."
Why
It
would
just
he
came.
come? Why would he come to the Patriots? They
Just
fucking
enjoy
stink.
it when it
They
happens.
stink.
All right. Malcolm Brogdon's fine. Tom Brady's returning to the Patriots. Everything is okay.
Jimmy, if this happens, the biggest "I told you so" of all time's coming. Like you know that. So.
It's not
We'll see.
happening. My guy Tom he's happy in Florida, and he'll be happy in San Francisco. He'll be happy in San Francisco
Nah,
next
he's
year because he'll be
single.
going to the
He's single in
Niners
Florida.
before he's. Yeah.
He wants to go
single
back
guy
home.
now.
He wants to go
Talk
back.
about-
home. Come home.
It's happening.
No. You know what happened? You know why? Because Patriots fans were brainwashed and they allowed him to leave. They let Belichick kick him out the door. Brainwashed Pats fans into
The
thinking that he
organization
wanted.
did that, Jimmy. Come
They-
on, man.
Kraft stabbed him in the back. Belichick wanted all the wanted to do it
Belichick was
himself.
stabbing him in the back for 2 years.
Brainwashed Pats into thinking that Brady wanted too much money. He wanted this. He didn't want to play. Blah blah blah. No, Brady begged for a contract. He begged for them to sign him to an extension. They didn't. They didn't want to give him the money. They made him play a lame duck year. They made him play Tom Brady. a lame duck quarterback. Are you kidding me? The most disrespectful thing I've ever seen. At that point, it was over.
Jimmy.
That whole last season, we all knew it was over. But he should have been re-signed prior to that last season. They should have built the team around him. They should have drafted better. And then we wouldn't be talking about Mac Jones versus Bailey Zappi on Sunday. The most pathetic quarterback controversy in the existence of football. I want to throw up every time I think about it.
Is this what you did on the Patriots show? This is it? We got a clip right now.
They could have used that.
Kind of. A couple weeks ago.
Get that ready for
That was
the
after
Jets
the.
game,
That was
Jimmy.
after the. I went on the Patriots show after the Bears game. You can imagine the debacle after that. We had a good show after that one. That was a wildly horrible coached game.
That was horrible. You know what Brady has?
Pat's ever gonna have Pats are gonna get a few fake wins here in a row, and it's gonna get everybody all riled up.
Enormous
Brady
hands.
does have enormous hands. And it's all fake wins. Just remember, these are all fake wins. Just like last year was a bunch of fake wins. This team is
Everything
horrible.
about the Pats is fraudulent. It's not a good team, but they'll be good next year with Brady. Jason Tatum.
That's the only way I'll cheer for the Pats is if that happens. But I
Jason
don't think
Tatum talking about his wrist. We're just managing at the
it's all in
moment.
the hallway.
Nothing I've got to have surgery on. Why even say that?
Whoa.
He's joking.
Yeah.
He's just joking around. You know what he told me? He said he was tired. That's what it was. But with the smirk on his face, like he's just kind of playing around with these quotes now because he's like, listen, this is the thing I'm dealing with. I'm gonna continue to deal with. We're gonna tape it up, and we'll just, we'll that's been my approach, and we're gonna keep doing the same thing because it's working for him right now. So, yeah, I don't know. He's kind of shrugging it off. This is his way of shrugging it off.
It's fine. The wrist is fine. The hamstring's fine. John's muted, so that's fine. That's actually awesome.
I've never understood these types of comments. I always find them amusing. Why do we need to support Mac? Like he needs you.
Listen, I'm not trashing anybody. I'm just trashing. I'm trashing Bill because I think that was.
You literally just trashed Bill, Mac, and Zappy, but that's fine.
And that was more of a ricochet shot.
Yeah,
Mac
it
and
was.
Zappy. Nothing personal, guys. I just can't.
But you
believe that
suck. It's not your fault you suck, but you suck.
Yeah, nothing personal. I just can't believe that that's the quarterback controversy we're dealing with right now.
Get him with a stray shot.
And by the way, Pats fans are not going to tell me that I'm the bad Mac guy when they're literally at Gillette Stadium chanting Zappy, Zappy, Zappy while Mac is on the field. I mean, that was one of the most pathetic displays of fandom I've ever seen in my life.
That was pretty bad.
So they should all be ashamed of themselves.
I want Sherrod to say anything just to let us know he's still there.
I'm right here, just soaking it all in. I'm giving Jimmy the
We're all
floor.
listening to the Jimmy. We're all listening to the Jimmy John podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is what it'll sound like. You guys gonna do that?
Sherrod's not allowed to talk football because he literally started 3 guys on a bye last week against me, and I had to murder him in fantasy after that.
Yo, you
So
kept
he's
my,
out.
kept my streak going.
Yeah,
My-
I had to put that out there, Sherrod.
My
okay,
football
Jimmy.
guy,
I will stab
Cadlick,
you when you least expect it, guaranteed.
started
Guaranteed.
4 on a bye. Oh my god.
Ugh.
Yeah, the league is falling apart here. The teams are
No, I think it's pretty
separating.
good. I think the league's
Yeah,
great,
Josue
guys.
has the most unluckiest record I've ever seen in my life. His team stinks.
What? Get out of here! You
I
are
looked at your
lying.
roster because I can't believe you're in first
There's
place.
one team. There's one team in the league that might be better than mine.
There's
That's
6
it.
teams
Come on.
better than yours. You have You have like the 7th
Yeah, dude.
most
What?
points.
You have no points.
Every time you play somebody, they
points.
score like 90 points. They have their first.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't know how to start their
Insane.
players. That's why. All right.
You would not.
No.
Y'all sleeping on free agents.
You will be going down
I've
quickly in
only
the
picked up
playoffs.
4
You better
guys.
pray
Actually.
for one seed.
I'm not one of those guys that's picking up people every week. But hey, don't
I
hate
wanna-
on first
I wanna-
place. Don't hate on first place.
I want to quickly post this. This is why Brady's not coming back. This is one of the reasons. Pats fans don't deserve Brady to come back.
That was a playful boo.
Oh, it's a playful boo, Bobby. See?
Yeah.
Just kidding. Boo.
Hey, Tom, we were just
Don't get
kidding.
Jimmy started. Well, he's already started, but
I'm
don't
done.
keep him
I
going.
said my piece. We'll have the same conversation, obviously, again when fake rumors start to come up that Brady's coming back.
Brady's coming back. I know it.
Good night,
It's all right.
everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for hanging out. Friday. Who is it?
Nuggets.
Denver
Oh, that's
That's the
fun.
game.
Oh, Batman.
with no Brogdon.
Batman returns.
Wear the costume.
Go Grant.
Oh, it's gonna be a Grant night. Oh man, those
Grant's been resting up for this night.
those are
If you can-
so
Yeah, it makes
insufferable. Oh
that
man.
makes sense.
Battle of the Batmans. Here we go.
Oh
gonna
my
be,
God.
Parading around.
It's going to be a
Party
Grant night. We'll let you guys know just again one more time. Check out our sponsor, Athletic Greens, AG1, athleticgreens.com/garden for all of your health needs. 75 vitamins, minerals, all into one little tiny scoop of powder. You put it into your water. You are done. All of your health needs are taken care of. It helps if you don't eat pizzas and hot dogs the rest of the day too. But this is a good way to start your day. A good health. Yeah, chase it with a soda. A cup of water, you're done. You don't have to go shopping for a million pills and supplements. It's all there. athleticgreens.com/garden. Free 1-year supply, vitamin D, and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Once again, the Celtics beat the Pistons. Easy. Cruised 128,
Ho hum
112.
even.
Ho hum. They just did it. And that's that. We're
8-3.
going to wrap it up. We are back on Friday. Thanks, guys, for hanging out.